Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex. Did you like that Apocalypse video? Because I got another one for you here, and I talked about it in the Apocalypse video. We're going to talk about Negasonic Teenage Warhead today, because yesterday, as part of my crystal spending spree, if you missed that one, I'm going to throw some clips up on YouTube for you later. It was pretty hilarious. One of my crystal purchases ended up being the Negasonic Teenage Warhead Danger Room pack. And so for those of you that are unfamiliar with how to obtain Negasonic Teenage Warhead, you have to go, like Rachel Summers, into the Danger Room. If you've never been there before, maybe now's a good time to check it out. You can get some free bios daily. You can get some X-Men materials as well. Hopefully they raise the cap, which gives us even more incentive to play the Danger Room. Hashtag scrap the cap. Thank you so much to everybody that has joined in that movement. It's kind of funny saying that. Anyways, you purchase the pack. You play a few rounds. I think I played well, actually I can see how many rounds I played, and I unlocked her at tier 2 already. I actually really like this way of unlocking a character. I know that people don't like forking over 4,500 crystals right away. There we go. I played 8 times, and I unlocked Negasonic Teenage Warhead at tier 2. 8 times. I only won 5 times. I lost 3 times. Yeah, you don't have to try very hard. You don't have to be very good to unlock her. But I really like this way of unlocking a character, because it's not just using biometric selectors, it's not just using tickets, it's not just I really like it. I really like the way that we unlocked Silver Surfer, and I really like this personally. But now my job is to tell you guys whether or not it's worth it for you to unlock her. And I want to say, before we get into the actual character, she has one of the highest, I mean, this is part of the character, but aside from playing her yourself, she has one of the highest single all defense down skills. So she has this minus 30% on Warhead charge up to minus 60 for 10 seconds. And then she's got the same thing on her 4th skill, Teen Gatling Blow, minus 30% up to minus 60 for 10 seconds. So minus 60, 10 seconds is technically better than anything Deadpool can do as a striker. He goes up to minus 55% for 10 seconds. And the thing to keep in mind is it's minus 55%, but it's minus 15 each hit. So if you only hit 2 times, that's only minus 30. If the boss moves out of the way, or for whatever reason the attack doesn't land, if you hit 3 times, it's minus 45%, but that's still not as consistent. This is much more consistently minus 60 because it's minus 30. So you only have to hit 2 times to get to that full cap. So that is something to keep in mind when we're gauging and we're rating and comparing all of these different all defense down abilities that characters have. You know, it's very impressive that a character can go up to minus 100. I unequipped this uniform. But you also have to consider the fact that if the percentage starts at like minus 1 or minus 2% like this, it might not be as good in practice. In theory, it's better. In theory, it's better to have minus 100%, but in practice, if you're only getting off 10 hits and it's 20 and it's minus 2%, that's only minus 20%. So with that being said, I think that a lot of the value of Negasonic Teenage Warhead, I think for players out there, is if you want a really consistent striker that's going to apply a ton of all defense down. And it's not something that I can really show off in this video that's in a sexy way, so you'd have to just watch the Apocalypse video, and you'll have to watch other videos that I do in the future. But I'm pretty sure Negasonic Teenage Warhead is going to become one of my main strikers, because I think she's probably as consistent in the long run as Weapon Hex. And if you think about that, that's weird, because Weapon Hex goes up to minus 100, but like I was saying, it's minus 100 at a 2% clip. So you have to hit the boss 50 times. I don't think that happens more than once or twice per match anyways. Now, it's a lot more consistent now because she's actually doing the all defense down skill every single time, but I think maybe, you know, half the time she's only going to get up to minus 50% anyways, whereas Negasonic Teenage Warhead is pretty much going to get to minus 60 every single time with that 4th skill. I believe it's the 4th skill that she does when she's a striker. So, yeah, she actually might be the best striker in the game for all defense down. So if you don't have a Mega Rank Up ticket for Weapon Hex, if you don't have Weapon Hex, if you don't have the money for an X-Gene selector, for an X-Gene subscription, if you don't want to play Danger Room to try to get Weapon Hex bios from the chest that you get weekly, you could think about dropping 4,500 crystals for Negasonic Teenage Warhead. You do get back 1,250 crystals, so it's also something to consider. Now let's talk about the character herself. She's got self-healing. on her 5th skill. She's got a 15% recovery that pops every time you do this skill. It's on an 8-second cooldown. So every 8 seconds, you got a 15% heal. 5 seconds of invincibility. You don't want to take her up against Thanos, but you can take her up against other world bosses. Removing debuffs. Crazy 65% crit rate buff, so you can basically cap her crit rate super easily. Thank you, but no thank you. She's got lots of crit damage as well, and she's actually pretty tanky because she's got 30% damage reduction. And she's got 100% all defense. So, yeah, it's just, you could build her tanky, and she can actually, survive and take hits. So, weird sort of position to be in for a Blast-type character to not be so fragile. But let's take her into some content and see what she can do. She actually does really well against Corvus because of the all defense down. So we can actually go up against a stage 50, and you guys can see what this looks like. So we're going to throw on one striker here for her, and then we're going to give her, we can give her... Actually, no, you know what? We want to go with... oh, I think she has 40% ignore dodge. Yeah, I gave her... Oh, for the rest of the build, really quickly here. Power of Angry Hulk, ISO 8 set. She needs the attack speed, trust me. And then we've got an Obelisk. We've got an ignore dodge, crit damage, 140 proc. So she does have 40% ignore dodge. And then I'm capped on cooldown and ignore defense. And then capped on crit damage. And then I'm almost capped on crit rate. So it's really, really easy to cap all of her abilities, even without an CTP. But anyways, we got 45 and 40, so we've got 85%. But we're actually going to go ahead and give her a regular leadership here. So we're actually looking for Hyper Neck. So we're going to go with this, and then we're going to give her 3 strikers. The strikers are going to be consistent, guys. Consistently garbage, so we don't have to worry about them doing a ton of damage. Okay, it's all going to be here on Negasonic. But this is going to give her 100% ignore defense. Ignore dodge, which she needs. Imagine 100% ignore defense. That's probably what a rage CTP gives you. And anyways, the rotation is pretty smooth. You do 3, and then you do 5. You get the all defense down, then you stack the all defense down from 4. Then you can either run away, or you can use 1 and 2, and then you can go back into 5. I leave 3 in between because it protects, and so I actually skip 3. I don't cast 3 every single rotation. It can get kind of tight if you try to cast 3 every single time. I completely missed my proc there for some reason. That's super weird. But you can see, even if when she takes bleeds and she takes hits, not only is the damage that she takes reduced, but she heals it back. So she's actually a really tanky Blast-type character, which is super unusual in general for Blast-type characters to have that kind of ability. Now, I don't see anything like super unique from her, like iframe ignore or anything like that, but she moves around interestingly. She doesn't really play like a Blast-type character, to be honest, and that's kind of something that I really like, and I'm starting to really appreciate about characters like Apocalypse as well. With so many characters in Marvel Future Fight, you start to get the feeling that a lot of them are just the same. And a lot of them just play the same way and feel the same way. But yeah, a healing on a Blast type is unusual. It's not that common. This crazy all defense down and these sort of explosive attacks, looking like the Juggernaut, looking like, more like a combat or a universal type character almost. Yeah, she just plays smoothly. Again, short cooldowns, nice iframes. 4 is probably one of her lamest skills. But it works. It's really not that bad, and you can just see there. And the nice thing is, if you miss the proc, if you miss your proc on 5, you can always activate it on 4 right after, because 4 also has all defense down. I don't think it does quite as much damage as 5, but it's better than nothing. So you sort of have it as a backup plan, and you can see she can definitely do this at stage level 50, or sorry, at stage 50, level 60. At level 50, guys, 5 stars. But anyways, yeah, she can do it. She's gonna have a little bit more. She's gonna have a little bit more trouble. Again, this is gonna be interesting. She's gonna have a little bit more trouble against Cull Obsidian because he can cleanse her all defense down. So she's not, she's not insanely valuable as a standalone character if you've already got a huge roster. But like I said, if you need characters for striking, she's honestly, the logical thing is to say that she's one of the best strikers, because she is minus 60%. She can give you consistently. You guys saw what she did for me against with Apocalypse, against who was that? Against Ebony. Oh, I got snared there. Debuff removal, debuff removal, debuff removal, no debuff removal. There we go with the heal. Nice. There she goes. She does double 5 on the team up. Nice. Nice, yeah, she can definitely do this. I survived. I came back from 600 HP. Tanky Blast-type character with all defense down and, you know, pretty much plays like a combat type. So I think what you get is a very unique character who has value as a striker, but can also put in work for you as a standalone character if you really like her. If you have a complete roster already, you probably don't need her for any content, but now with the striker change, I might be dead here with all this bleed, but now with the striker change, wow, she actually survived, damn. With the striker change, she gains a ton of value because she's going to consistently do that for you. So those 3,000 crystals that you're investing are a long-term investment that's going to allow you to push. And especially for free-to-plays who don't, you know, don't want to try their luck with the Danger Room unlocking Weapon Hex, I think she's a really good alternative to Weapon Hex, personally. She obviously can't go as high as 100%, but the advantage is instead of going that high, she consistently hits 60% all defense down. And that you could actually even use the movement. I'm surprised I haven't died, to be perfectly honest with you guys. I'm really surprised she hasn't died this whole time. But you can even use that movement on her. Ooh, yeah, there you go. So 3 strikers. I'm not even messing around with a full host of strikers. We're just doing the bare minimum for strikers. The strikers basically did no damage because they're super weak characters to begin with. 1 support, stage 50. With an obelisk, so she could definitely go higher than this. I think she's better than Rachel, in my opinion. I think she's better than Rachel. Rachel offers crowd control, so I think it really comes down to whether you need crowd control or all defense down. Weapon Hex is a premium character, but you don't need to tier 2 her at least. You just need to get her to 6 stars with a mega rank up ticket. But Scarlet Witch, so if we compare Weapon Hex and Negasonic Teenage Warhead, and then we compare Scarlet Witch and Rachel Summers, which is kind of an interesting thing. They're all blast type, they're all female. Rachel Summers is obviously a lot cheaper to build overall than Scarlet Witch. But honestly, if you asked me, would I rather pay, 9,000 crystals up front, and then you get back 2,500 crystals. So you end up paying 6,500 crystals in total. You play 15 rounds of Danger Room, maybe less, and you end up with a tier 2 Rachel Summers, who's constantly crowd controlling with the Mind Control 4th skill, and you have Negasonic Teenage Warhead, who's constantly all defense downing 60% as a striker. Bada bing, bada boom. You don't have to get Scarlet Witch and Weapon Hex anymore. Free-to-play dream? Am I talking crazy or am I right? I don't know. Let me know what you guys think of Negasonic Teenage Warhead. I think she's a little bit underrated. I said it. It's out there. I can't take it back now. I think she's underrated. I think she's kind of hot shit. I think she's good. Hot shit is a compliment, by the way. It doesn't mean they're terrible. Anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Hit me up. Let me know what you want to see next on the channel. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.